Now we're under the 5th Avenue Bridge, and we're looking at the 4th Avenue Bridge. And the reason I'm down here is to talk about the 4th Avenue Bridge and Deschutes Parkway. Again, to avoid conflict, we're not shooting directly on Deschutes Parkway. I don't want to disturb the residents or make them uncomfortable. I also have to consider my team's safety, that we don't get harmed or something happen to the camera. Cameras have been broken when shooting in these locations. So, the 4th Avenue Bridge, there's not a camp under it right now, but for me, the saga and the story around the 4th Avenue Bridge and the Deschutes Parkway is a really good illustration about how our city council is putting the rights of the homeless, the street subculture, above the rights of the rest of the community. And the camp that was under the 4th Avenue Bridge 2 years ago was an issue in the council race 2 years ago when the mayor was up for re-election. And Just Housing, who I referenced in some of my other videos, Just Housing helped organize the residents of camp and forced a political choice upon the council right before the election time, where the council voted 6-1, with Cheryl Selby being the only vote no. The council voted 6-1 to allow the camp under the 4th Avenue Bridge to stay there. Now, this gets even a little more complicated. Our council now is paying a lot of lip service to indigenous rights, and they made a big deal of last Tuesday. They made a big proclamation of raising the Squaxin flag at City Hall. Right before the City Council took that vote, the Squaxin had sent the City Council a letter. And in that letter, they asked the City Council, please remove the camp. We don't want the camp there for several reasons. You know, environmental reasons. Our salmon are being endangered. There's salmon poaching, and we're worried about our salmon being contaminated by what's going into the water. And they also brought up treaty issues and cultural issues, that this is a place of respect for the Squaxin, and having a homeless camp is disrespectful to the tribe. So despite that letter being sent to every single council member, the council still voted against the tribe. And so when it came down to it, this was an example of with them putting the homeless or the street subculture above the rights of the tribe. And they pay all homage that we're living on stolen land, but then they're allowing other people to steal that land? I don't quite get that. Another problem with the camps that were down here is, again, there was a lot of criming and people being physically assaulted down here. Right in this area, two men have been murdered. One was murdered last year. He died over at the bus stop along Deschutes Way, or that's where he was stabbed. I'm not sure if he died there, but he died. We had another victim just this week under the bridges here. A group of young men had come down here to get high, and as they were getting high, they were confronted by a man who was masturbating. They got very upset that the man was masturbating while they were doing their drugs, so they beat the man to death. They punched him and kicked him until he was unconscious and having what they thought was a seizure. Then they realized what they'd done, and they tried to revive him in a couple ways that are kind of, one was they tried to splash some water on him to get him wake up. The other is they tried to shock him awake by using a battery device to give him a shock to see if that would get him awake. And so these are the realities of what goes on down here that progressives just do not want to confront. Emergency vehicles, again, you can't get emergency vehicles down here. When people were ODing down here, or there were campfires down here, they had to bring the person out to the path to get the medical help. When there were fires under the bridge with propane tanks nearby, OPD was not able to get there to physically put out the flames because it was under the bridge. There was no access for the water. So we had put the bridge in danger of potential structural damage from exploding propane tanks. We put that above, we put the rights of that people to live under that bridge above the rights of the community to have a safe environment and a clean environment. And the people on the council and the Compassionistas, they don't want to confront these realities. They sugarcoat them. They use magical words and magical thinking. And I just don't understand how they're okay with this, because I'm not.